Please note that everything I share in this video is my personal opinion as a home bakery coach of over 7 years. She's now selling out in 10 minutes on Instagram. This is what my big concern is. Home bakers see this amazing success, but they don't realize that she only experienced the first month to month and a half of the new business glow, where everyone wants to support your business. And then when she started the second time, legitimately in Arizona, she could announce it very conveniently to over 180,000 followers on Instagram. 99.9% of home bakers don't have this advantage. And from the evidence I've seen, microbakerygirl was built on beautiful videos and what looks like really delicious baking, but also misleading information, misrepresentation of the truth, and lies, unfortunately. Hey, it's Aurelia. I didn't plan to make this video, but I just couldn't keep silent anymore. There have been so many allegations about her course being a scam. As a home bakery coach for the past 7 years, I have to weigh in on this because I care about you guys. It's not my intention to badmouth Jess Stewart, the owner of microbakerygirl, in any way. I am not out to hate on their success or something. I'm very grateful for all the success I've had, honestly. I want to be reasonable, I want to be fair, and I want to be kind in this video. And full transparency, I did email her about all the points I'm going to raise in this video, and unfortunately she did not respond. And what I'm not doing in this video is rolling out a dirty laundry list of everything that Jess and Landon have done in their past, how they've made money in the past. That's not what this video is for. If you are interested in that, then you can find it very easily if you just search on YouTube for microbakerygirl. I just want to focus on what she's doing right now, and I just want to help you as a home baker to make informed decisions about who you buy from and what kind of things to look out for when you buy online courses. There are unfortunately scams out there, but I'm going to give you some pointers just so you know what to look out for. Okay, so my first issue with microbakerygirl's content and microbakery school in particular is that, in my opinion, it is misleading. The wording that she's using is misleading. She says on her sales page that this is the most comprehensive microbakery program ever, but then if you read the fine print, you see that she only helps you to start your business. In my opinion, that's misleading, because if it just shows you how to start a business, it's not the most comprehensive microbakery program ever. And on her sales page, you can also see that she offers social media marketing templates in her course as a bonus, but she never even had a social media account for her business. She recently opened one for the Little Loaf, but before that she never sold her baked goods on Instagram. In my opinion, Jess did not get 2,000 new followers for her new microbakery in Arizona through sharing behind the scenes content and little moments of her business. She got them because she had a viral account on Instagram that she could promote her new business to. She also promises to help you with online sales in her course, but her website at the time I'm filming this video doesn't even exist. She hasn't ever sold baked goods online. So how can she help you do that? You see the issues here. And then secondly, I need to address the points where she's straight out lying and where there's evidence of her doing so. When her videos started going viral, people started asking her a lot of questions in the comments, and they would ask her about her income. And she responded in comments that she makes a full-time income from her microbakery home bakery business, and claims to have been running it for over a year. But then if you check her carousel posts where she came clean and shared a lot of stuff about the truth behind microbakerygirl, then you see that she only meant it in terms of hours, but she said income in her comments. And also, she hasn't been running her business for over a year. If you look at her carousel post, it can be confusing because in the beginning she says the story, okay, not the business, the story of microbakerygirl starts in the fall of 2023. But then when you get into the details, you realize, no, that was actually just like a long research phase and where she was enjoying baking, but she hadn't actually started her business. She only started selling her baked goods in the fall of 2024. And then you see that she, in November, stopped her microbakery because she was focusing on creating her online course, Microbakery School. So this means she was only in business for 1 month, you guys, 1 month. She had this Truth About Microbakery School carousel post on Instagram, and although she apologized for some things, sort of, unfortunately, she, in my opinion, didn't really own up to what she did. Home bakers are freaking hardworking people. We are working so hard to make ends meet and to be there for our family at the same time. And it upsets me very deeply when someone is sharing pretty videos and misleading people and taking advantage of them, taking advantage of a group of people that aren't loaded. And that's why it upsets me so much if someone flat out lies to them and then doesn't properly apologize, but just phrases it as failed to communicate clearly or made a few mistakes. That's just, that makes me sad and it makes me angry. And in this very post where she is apparently apologizing, she is lying again. She said in this post that she has 20 plus hours worth of content in her course, but she recently shared a video where she shows the curriculum of microbakery school, and there, if you add up the times, it comes down to just over 7 hours. And that broke my trust, because all of us make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I have lied before in my life. I definitely have. If any of us think we are without sin, we fool ourselves completely. I've also lied. Thankfully, Jesus Christ, his arms are open, to forgive us our sin if we repent and we say we are sorry. But that's what really got me. Like in this post where she's supposedly saying sorry, she's lying again. And that's really painful. And especially because she then flipped the scripts and turned herself into the victim. Now, I'm not saying that the harassment that happened to her is okay. It's terrible. It's dreadful. It's not okay. No one should ever be harassed, and I'm so sorry she had to go through that. I just wish that she didn't immediately flip in the story to how she's been suffering, rather than the suffering she may have been causing hardworking people by straight out lying to them multiple times about many different things. And the last issue I have with microbakerygirl and this microbakery school that she's created is this idea that you can start a microbakery or home bakery and you can just scale it later and then it will be successful and get you consistent orders. That is simply not true. That's like saying, I'm going to show you how to build a house, but actually they've never built a full house. They've only laid a foundation and they don't even know if a house can stand on that foundation. So that's what my beef is here. This course is being promoted as this most comprehensive course for a microbakery or home bakery ever, but it shows you how to start your business in a way that isn't proven to actually help you create a successful business down the line. Business is a serious thing. Business is a complex thing. And that's why so many businesses fail. Honestly, more than half of my students are home bakers who already started their business, but then after the initial excitement of a new business and after their friends who can't really afford to buy home baked goods every single week, after that support had dried up, they are left in a very sticky spot, because then they already have a business going. Sometimes they've left their jobs or have scaled down to a part-time job, but they don't have a customer base to sustain their business. And it's because they relied on their friends for a stable income. Reaching out to your friends and your neighborhood is a great way to start your business. But if you want to turn this into a part-time or full-time thing, baking from home part-time or full-time, which is totally possible, you need other income streams as well. It's very rare that a direct customer base can quickly enough become a stable income for you to the extent that you can quit your job. And this is especially true if you have a friendship circle and live in a neighborhood where people aren't well off and can afford buying a luxury product like home baked goods on a weekly basis. The thing with starting your business in a fancy neighborhood like this, where Jess was staying with her in-laws, then it's a lot easier because you have rich neighbors that have money to spend on baked goods, and then it's not that hard. But what if you live in a medium to low income neighborhood? Are you forced then to sell your baked goods for a lot cheaper than people would in rich neighborhoods? Those are the kind of things that home bakers deal with. If you start your business, you don't have to resort to cheap prices just because that's what your neighborhood can afford. You can have a cheaper range of baked goods, but for this to really be profitable, you need to be able to charge what your baked goods are actually worth when you work out the math. And for that, you can't always depend on your local neighborhood for them to make up your customer base. It doesn't always work that way. And that was the case for me when I moved down to Cape Town. When I started my business initially, I started my business twice. When I started it the first time, we had a great network, a big network of people who I studied with. I did have to undercharge though to sell my baked goods every week. And at that point, I didn't really realize I was undercharging. When I started my business the second time in Cape Town, I did not have a network of friends to rely on for my first orders. I wasn't living in a nice neighborhood where I could reach out to neighbors to get orders. I realized that I need to get my baked goods in front of people that have a higher income. So that's why it worked really well for me to start baking for coffee shops and for offices. Also, side note, if your cottage food laws don't allow you to bake for cafes and coffee shops and restaurants, you can still use the same approach to bake for offices, which is a direct sale because they don't resell your baking. So that's a great way to get yourself in front of people with more money. And offices have budgets for things like this. This is a much faster way, and in my opinion, a more effective way to create a baking business that has a stable income, has consistent weekly orders, and doesn't just rely on people who you have direct contact with. And then I have another concern. Jess became popular on Instagram and on TikTok because of this content that she shared about starting a microbakery business and making it seem as if she's had this incredibly successful, idyllic business for a very long time. And it was all with the goal of selling her course, right? That's where everything was going. But now she is creating her home bakery for the first time, actually, while she already has that popularity on social media. So even though I see that she's now selling out in 3 hours or even in 10 minutes on Instagram, this is what my big concern is. Home bakers see this amazing success that she has, but they don't realize she could announce it very conveniently to over 180,000 followers on Instagram. So this is why she's having such great success selling her baked goods on Instagram. 99.9% of home bakers don't have this advantage that Jess has with this massive popularity that she could piggyback off of to start her business. And it just reinforces this false belief that you can build up a successful home bakery very quickly on Instagram. Well, that is not the case at all. And that makes me really sad because home bakers so often reach out to me and tell me that they've tried posting on social media regularly and it just hasn't led to more orders. And that's because social media isn't this magic thing that fixes everything. Popularity is a fruit of a successful business. It's not a requirement for a successful business. Popularity comes later. Popularity isn't like an essential ingredient for you to become successful. Sure, you can get orders through Instagram. You can. I'm not saying you can't. But in my experience, and all the home bakers that I've been coaching as well, posting regularly on social media is not going to fix your business. Which brings me to the last point in this video, how to tell if a course is legit or not, and how to judge if this is a course worth investing in or if it's not. The first thing you have to look out for is testimonials. Have you ever bought anything on Amazon that has 0 reviews? Like, there aren't any stars, there's nothing. You don't know what anyone thinks of this thing. Has anyone ever bought stuff like that? No, we always look at the reviews because that helps us to make an informed decision, a good decision, to see other people's experiences in this. So only buy courses that actually have reviews, a lot of reviews, not just one, many. Once again, think of Amazon. If there's only 1 review of 5 stars, you're still going to be skeptical and not buy it, right? You want to have as many reviews as possible. And then also go check out the people who are leaving reviews. Are they legit? Are they real? Do they actually have a business going? And also look at what their testimonial says. Think about what you really want from your home bakery business or your micro bakery. If you are starting one or looking at starting one, do you want to just have your first sales, your first orders, or do you actually want to turn this into a successful business that can run for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years? Look for those kind of results in testimonials. It's so much easier to get your first sale, and that's why so many people start small businesses. But actually turning it into something that can replace your job and earn you a consistent monthly income, for that, you're going to need to learn about business and marketing skills, and you will quickly be able to tell in the testimonials if people teach this kind of stuff in their courses. Because if they do, the results will be more long-term focused and not just for this week and right now. And then the second thing to look out for when you're purchasing an online course, check if this person has actually accomplished what they are trying to teach you. Check that out online, search them online, search their business name online, search their name online to see what comes up so that you know that they have actually gotten the results that they are claiming they're going to help you achieve. And then the third thing, make sure whatever course you're buying has a guarantee, like a money-back guarantee. Micro Bakery School does have a money-back guarantee, and that's why I think her course is not a scam. because she actually gives refunds to people if they're not happy with it. And that's a great thing. I would not label her school as a scam. I just label it as very, very, very misleading, in my opinion. And my final thoughts on Home Bakery Girl, you know, she has so many resources and she's a super talented and intelligent woman. And I just wish she would have rather shared a course on branding and packaging, you know, because that is not misleading. It's not promising something that she hasn't achieved herself yet. She's clearly so good at branding and packaging, and if she shared a course on that, people would be lining up to buy from her anyway. I'm frustrated. She had to resort to being misleading and flat out lie about things to create this massive like online empire, possibly. They've been getting so much flack on YouTube, so I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I know she's already got hundreds of students, and I just wish that it was done with integrity. I wish that she just worked with all the talent and skill that she does have and not pretend to be something that she's not. In my opinion, it just isn't a trustworthy person to learn from. I don't wish her any ill will at all. I hope her business does extremely well in Arizona. Clearly she is a great baker. It's just a shame that she's felt she's had to do things this way. Thanks for watching this video. It wasn't a fun topic to talk about, but it was really important, and I'm grateful that I took this opportunity to talk about it. And I hope that I was fair. I hope that I was kind. You can share your thoughts in the comments below. The next video I'm planning to release is about dealing with dissatisfied or difficult customers in your home bakery business. I hope to release that video in the next month. Life is just incredibly busy right now with our little toddler William, who's officially in his tantrum phase. Please pray for us. It's intense. I hope you have a great week. Bye.